Exhausted fire crews in Northern California are hoping the weather will remain relatively calm today. They have been on the fire lines there for more than a month, many of them being yanked from one fire to the next with practically no breaks in between. The state's been forced to get some extra manpower from a population it sort of keeps in reserve for disasters like these. We're talking about prison inmates trained to fight wildfires. With us now, Richard Subia, Associate Director of the California Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation. How many inmates do you have who've been trained, Richard?
We have basically 4,500 inmates trained statewide. Those include our male inmates, female inmates, and some juvenile offenders that are always ready to respond to problems that we have throughout the state.
And do they volunteer for a program like this, or do you go around and suggest that it might be a nice thing to do?
It's a little of both. We have inmates who volunteer. We review their case factors. We want to make sure that we're putting non-serious, non-violent, healthy offenders out on the fire lines that are willing to go out there and provide a service to the community.
We've got some pictures of the actual inmates who are doing some of the work and also sitting there in prison classrooms and so forth. But yeah, you don't just take anybody. I mean, you're not going to let a rapist or an armed robber or a murderer out there on the fire lines, right?
Oh, no, definitely not. We do a real critical case review on the inmates that we put out there. The way I look at it as typically neighbors aren't happy when they see a group of felons surround their house, but when our firefighters show up, there's a sigh of relief that they see because they know that these men are trained, they know they're non-violent, they know they're non-serious, and they know that help is there. These men and women do a fantastic job throughout the state helping in this fire suppression.
Well, I'm sure if you get 4,500 extra bodies, free bodies really, because you're not really paying them much of anything, are you?
Well, the inmates make $1 an hour.
Okay.
They make $1 an hour, and some of them get some relief on their sentence as a result of being out there working on the fire lines. But we believe that this is one of our best rehabilitative programs where the inmates can get out there, give back to the community, and be ready to enter society already at a position that they've given back to the community and been a resource to the state of California.
That $1 an hour wage, though, does save the state tens of millions of dollars a year over paying a professional firefighting team.
Oh, definitely. We work in concert with CAL FIRE, and they work out there on the lines with the federal firefighters, the local firefighters, and the state CAL FIREs. They're seen and appreciated and treated like normal firefighters, with the exception of they wear a different color of uniform, so they can be easily depicted from the other firefighters who are out on the line.
And what's in it for them? I understand they have the opportunity to work toward a shorter sentence and then maybe a job at the end of the line?
Yeah, there's several of our inmates who have gone on to work for the Federal Fire Service, working in the National Forest, dealing with wildland fires. There's some of our inmates that get 2 days off their sentence for every day that they work out on the fire line. And then, of course, as I mentioned before, the $1 a day. But not every inmate gets the 2 for 1. It depends on their commitment offense. But I'll tell you, if you go out and you talk to a number of those firefighters, they do it because they feel like they're giving a service back to the community. And I think that's an important piece for them to be reintegrated into society. This is a major program for the state of California to assist our inmates to return back to the community, already on the path of providing a service to the state of California.
That sounds interesting. Richard Subia, thanks very much.
Thank you.